and welcome to Marc's Noon Show. So glad to have you with us today. By the way, I want to send out a special shout out our sponsor. This segment brought to you by Delicious Beverage. Make sure you check out Delicious Beverage and use the code Marc 2020. Get that 10%. Delicious Beverage is delicious. I know, yeah. So welcome to the show. I'm so excited about my guest this afternoon. You know how, first of all, I am a advocate for Black women, okay? I was raised by a single Black woman. I have 3 daughters. I'm married to a Black woman. I even have 2 female dogs. I am an advocate for women, especially Black women. And I love the story of this brand because in typical fashion, I'm a mom. I'm looking at these products for my baby and I'm not happy. So I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to create my own damn product to deal with what I have to deal with. The product is called Curasalve. Hope I'm saying it right. Curasalve. And here, Kelley is the creator, the CEO, the mama bear, the booger with the sugar, the head honcho, the top dog, the HNIC.
Dog, right, pretty much.
Kelley, you had an issue and you saw these products out there and they were jacked up. And so you decided to do something about it. So before that, tell us your backstory and how this whole thing happened.
Yes, I'm Kelley, the founder and CEO of Curasalve, and here is our hero product, the organic diaper rash treatment paste. And so back in 2016, when I had my daughter, she was an infant with very sensitive skin, and she always had little red blotches on her. So I was very careful about the type of products that I use, like to moisturize her skin. And when she started solids around 6-7 months, she had bouts with food intolerance that led to diaper rash. And because of her already sensitive skin, the diaper rash was just exacerbated. And so she always had a red blotchy bum. And so I started to seek out organic diaper rash treatment options. And what I found was that the personal care market is unregulated. And so there can be a cream or product that says natural on the front, and it contains a bunch of synthetic ingredients that were irritating to her skin. And so I kept searching for something that was minimalist, an ingredient profile I could understand, and something with a thick shielding consistency that would stay on. So, a lot of creams are like lotions, and as soon as you close the diaper, they wipe off and it provides no protection. And so I stopped my search and I developed my own product that was organic and effective and had a really thick consistency to beat the rash fast.
So Kelley, okay. All right. Hold up, Kelley. You just said some language. I was like, no, what now? So it's interesting, the way you approach this seem to be like you're a scientist or you're very systematic. So where did that come from? Because I'm not systematic and I'm not a scientist.
I'm not a scientist either. But
I would not have known where to begin.
I'm an attorney by trade. And so I think with that skill set, we're always researching and seeking answers. And so, I didn't know how to develop a formula, but what I did know was how to find answers. And so really I got on Google and I started to research ingredients. And then I thought about the ingredients that I like to use. Like I put jojoba oil on my skin, coconut oil. I knew that zinc was a mineral that's a natural healer, and it's always found in diaper creams. And so I kind of put together a formula that I thought worked. And then I found a chemist, which took a really long time, with the fidelity to my model, someone that only uses organic ingredients, that wouldn't compromise with synthetics, had an FDA certified facility, and it just worked out. And so it was a lot of samples, lots of calls to chemists, lots of no's, but, I'm pretty persistent. And so I just kept going. And then, here I am. I found the right lab. And, they got the formula down, and then I decided to go for it.
I love it. The fidelity to my model. You go ahead, words. So I have shout out to Kevin Reynolds, who says making our own products is the first step in freedom as Black people in America. You go ahead, Kevin. Kevin, go ahead. Kevin is yes.
Yeah.
I actually am part of a product called Delicious Beverage,
Nice.
our
You have to
sponsor.
try it. Yeah.
And oh yeah, I definitely hook you up. So Delicious Beverage is it's a tea and lemonade, and we have all these natural syrups. But I'm laughing because my friend created it, but he's a chemist, and it's just what I'm just learning is so important. Like you said, you're a lawyer, so these things, these skill sets that we have. When you start to put stuff together, I'm starting to notice that the benefits of having certain skill sets and also the benefits of going through the process, because then it helps you look for the answers. Like you said, as a lawyer, I don't know the answer, but I know how to find the answer, and then my friend, when you talk about, being a chemist and working in a food situation, he worked for Kraft. So in his own product, and he also is a quality control person. So we have this huge advantage because quality control and ingredients, he knows everything about it, And so what you did, once you find the answers, now the marketing and all that comes with when you have a product and it has to be safe and it has to be all that kind of stuff, your legal mind handles that part. But let's go back to the mama side though.
Yes.
I love the fact, and this is what I love about women and moms, is that you're like, my baby got a red booty and I got to figure this thing out. And you would not sleep until you did this. So when did you know you had the right formula?
Yeah, I knew I had the right formula when, one, it worked on my daughter, who was just like the poster child for sensitive skin and issues as a baby. And then I started to give it to mom friends who were close to me, but very honest. And they knew that I was taking a leap investing in this. And I asked for honest feedback. And they said, Kelley, I like the ingredients. They all speak to me. Like I know what you're talking about, what's in the product, and then it works. And then they started using it for like alternative issues. Like I also put it on my cuticles and I put it on my knuckles, and it's been helping out. I feel like my hands are moisturized, and I'm like, okay, you know what? If that's the case, I know that you are honest with me. I know that your feedback is genuine. I think I have something here. And then, decided to go for it after that.
Now, Kelley, as you notice, I actually will get off topic. So please excuse me and just say, Marc, I don't want to talk about that if we go too far away. So, Kelley, you are from Chicago.
Yes.
And I always say, and one of the lines that I love that Kanye says is, how do you move in a room full of no's? And let me tell you something. I'm from Springfield, Illinois. I went to school at SIU Carbondale, and my observations on my Chicago experience was, number one, Chicago to me is the blackest city in America, in that black folks are not trying to be like white folks. They are black. They say, open the door and don't worry about you judging me on saying door, right? It's like you have your own bag up. You have your own, black folks ain't trying to please nobody in Chicago. And also, like you said about your honest friends, they are blatantly honest in Chicago. It's not like when I first went, I always tell the story. I went to the student union and I said, hey, what's up? Ain't nobody say nothing to me. Okay. They didn't know me. And so 10 minutes later, when I went upstairs and I met somebody who happened to be from Chicago, and I came back downstairs and they said, hey, what's up? Because I was with somebody from Chicago. So it was an interesting dynamic. But I think Chicago, if you can make it in Chicago, if you have a product, if you have anything and you can get through that, you pretty much are ready. Is that an accurate analysis, Kelley?
I think so. I was raised on the south side of Chicago, on 35th and King. So, I know, I feel like I have seen, quite a few obstacles in my life. And, you have to get used and be okay with saying no. People, misunderstanding what you're about. And I just keep it moving because there's someone that's interested in what I'm saying and in what I'm selling. So you're absolutely, sometimes my husband is from DC and, he says, Chicago is full of hustlers. So you are going to get it. And I think that's true,
Yeah, DC to me, the DC experience is different. First of all, DC has a whole bunch of different layers, but I think the fact that I think the politics of DC are interesting in that I think a lot of people play it safe because of a good job. They play it safe
Sure.
because they're not, you know what I mean? Versus again, back to Chicago, people don't give a damn. I remember like in Chicago, to me, the millionaires were so-and-so's, contractor, a car guy, a guy who has dirt underneath his fingernails, but he's liquid. He's got money. It's not like, somebody who's, like you said, got to worry about what he's going to say or how he has to phrase stuff. It's different, but that's just a whole other thing. But okay, so Kelley, you get the formula together, and you now you take it to market. So what made you decide to take it to market? And then tell us about that process, because I see a lot of people watching. This is the entrepreneurial push is really happening. People are really doing it, and so tell us how you began that process.
Yeah. And so, I knew when I started to develop the product for my daughter and it worked, that I wanted to bring it to market, because I think, my long-term vision for my life, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, was really to have flexibility and to have freedom. And, entrepreneurship, it's a difficult road, but it will ultimately give me the flexibility and the freedom that I want. And so, I'll say I made a lot of mistakes in the journey to being on market. I didn't know about managing all of my social channels. I didn't know the importance of influencers and, PR. And then I actually, once you have a great idea, and then also, I did not know the importance of branding. Branding, when people look at your product, the look and feel, does it stand out in comparison to other products on the shelf? Is it physically attractive? That's important. It's important if you want to sell to buyers. It's important when you're creating your visuals for your website. So I would say definitely invest in branding, making sure your logo and your packaging, stands out. And then, so I will say, in going to market, I didn't have a fully expansive business plan and network. So I kind of figured things out on my own. So I spent a lot of money on things that didn't matter, and maybe should have invested and taken my time to do things like, for example, all of my ingredients are certified organic. Now I'm going through the process to be NSF certified organic, and I have to make updates to my label. And that means I have to reprint them, when I could have actually did a little more research and finalize that before I went to market. So I would just have the same labels and not spend money and do this run and then have to get rid of it so I can meet the NSF certified organic standard. I spent a lot of money on branding teams, the people that did not get who I was as a founder, and they didn't really get the product. So it's important to work with people that know your industry. So if you're coming out with, like a tea line, work with people that have been in the beverage industry. Just like it was important for me to work with people that know the baby care industry. If you're doing natural hair, work with people with some experience there, because the lingo is different. What your consumer wants is different. And it's important to have that solid understanding before you start paying for services, and then you have to end up paying again. But I will say, most entrepreneurs and most business people that I know, they say, Kelley, I've had to spend so much money to figure out the right team. And that's, to some degree, it's a part of the experience. But if you can avoid overspending and avoid these obstacles, do your research, ahead of time. And then that's how you do it.
And I think that's a part of the Black experience. Kevin's hitting on. He's going in on the Black racism, everything. But I think the part that is so real is that in a lot of cases we are the first generation who were stepping out into entrepreneurship. And entrepreneurship, like you said, it's trial and error when you're that first person. And that's why isn't it funny, Kelley, when you're doing your own business, then you start looking back on businesses. Let's say it's, in my case, Popeye's Chicken in Springfield, but not the Popeye's Chicken, a brother named Popeye who had a chicken place. And he had great success, and he had 2 or 3 kids. And you start looking at these businesses. So he already has stepped out and built this $1 million business that his kids had no interest in keeping. And so they just moved on. And now you start to understand my grandfather, who was a printer. My grandfather was a printer, and my uncle who were printers, and I'm in communications. If only we had kept it alive. He already did the groundwork. He already did the basis piece. And when you throw it away, It's heartbreaking. My grandfather had those presses. Like what I learned later on was very few black people had the presses. Even now, black publishers don't have presses. Mostly the Jewish people have presses. My uncle in Little Springfield, Illinois, had the presses. And when I finally was putting it all together, and I go to my uncle and I'm like, hey, let's do some publishing. He's like, oh, I sold the presses. Oh, Lord. But, and that's the thing. So it's like, what you did, the good news is, Kelley, what you did was you laid the groundwork for, your daughter, whoever comes after you, and the information. So now you can turn it into a class. You can teach others. You can reach one, teach one. We have to take that experience and then, write your books, write your seminars, because we had a, like you said, when I was in New York, I was in New York briefly. And I partnered up a young lady, and we were going to be the Black Amazon, right? We were called Archer Pine, and we have, if you just Google Archer Pine, these interviews will come up because I did a podcast. So we had about 60 businesses like yours. Some of them were already established and been selling for years. Some of them were just hitting the market. And so we came out right around the time We Buy Black came out. Ours was a little bit more niche. Ours was a little bit more dedicated to artisans like yourself, with natural ingredients and so on, so on, so on, so. And the thing was, we got hacked and we got shut down. We got destroyed by Russian bots, and the money ran out. But the interesting thing was, a lot of the businesses that were on Archer Pine have gone on to have success, and it was great because in that space, like We Buy Black has, when you have all these people doing it, you can share a lot of great information. One of our clients was the sister this in Walmart who has the feminine products, and they did the big story. I guess it was in Target. It was a big issue, So she was one of our people, and so there's a lot of people out there. But I guess all I'm saying is that it like you said, because we're the first ones out, there's this terrain that we're not familiar with. Then what's crazy is when you start to make moves, when Curasalve starts to become bigger, those other major companies either come for you and try to shut you down, or they want to buy you.
They want to buy you out. Exactly. Yeah.
And I guess, in some cases, let's say, would you hold on, or would you sell it out?
You know what? I had an interesting conversation with someone last week where they were like, I think there's something here. I may be interested in, an acquisition. And, right now, now is not the time, because I want to build my business up. Mm-hmm. I want to, learn really what it takes to be a CEO powerhouse, like to really grow a business. And maybe in 5 to 7 years, I may be in a place where I want, to let it go. But the thing about me is that I'm learning how to fish. And then this is something, like when they say, when you learn how to fish, you'll never be hungry. And this is a skill set that I want to teach my children. I want to teach my children's friends, anybody that's interested in learning how to build a product-based business, because I'm learning a lot, by going through this. But, you're absolutely right that quite often a lot of Black businesses, they do sell, because at the end of the day, it may be hard to really be profitable when you're growing fast, because the profits that you do get, you're reinvesting back into the business. Yes. We don't always have access to $1 million funds that will back us and pay you the salary that you want so that you can be a CEO and do this full time, And so I get it why Black founders say, you know what, I've been doing this 5, 10, 15 years, and I'm ready to reap the benefits of the hard work. And so I won't say that, initially when I started, I said, oh, this is for, me and my children, forever. But then now, I think about it and I say, I see why founders do sell, because that is really when they make their money. So a lot of people going into entrepreneurship, the reality is that your business, you may make a lot of money, but when you're growing, you're always reinvesting. And so you may not be taking that big payout every day. And I think Instagram and social media kind of glamorizes entrepreneurship, when, the more that you grow, the more you have to invest. And so it may not be as lucrative on a month-to-month basis as you would like, until, you get to a certain status.
So Sheridan says, I get advertisements all the time about making marketers get my gluten-free products in stores. How can I be sure they're reputable, not just in place that may take advantage of me?
Yeah.
I think the first step is like Kelley said, I think the first step is tightening up your product and making it ready for market, the look, like you said, the ingredients, like getting full control of all that, I would say would be the first step. What do you think, Kelley?
Absolutely. Knowing that your product meets a particular store's requirements, and then also, beginning to understand the industry. So, for example, you may receive marketing from third-party companies that serve as brokers, and they want to introduce you to a retail outlet. When the reality is that those buyers, like if you go on LinkedIn, you can see who all the buyers are for a particular grocery store, or you can go in store. So, as of a few months ago, I was going into all of the DC area Whole Foods and asking to speak to their baby buyer and giving them samples and starting that conversation. And that eliminates a broker. And I actually have the name and the email address of the right person. And then that way, number one, you don't have to pay a fee to anyone representing you, and then you actually know that this person is in store. So I would say, do a little research to know that you meet the store's requirements, and then two, that you're working with the right person. But there are some major retailers, maybe even Targets, maybe like Sprouts Market, that they put a lot of their submission info online.
Yeah.
And they're inundated with, people who are wanting to submit. So sometimes it may be okay to use a broker for like natural foods in that person's case, that represent brands like yours, and will go and have a one-on-one meeting in Minneapolis at Target with the right buyer and present your product to them. So, you just have to weigh your options and make sure that your product is ready for retail. You have money backing you. That your labels, all of the requirements are there. So if you get a yes, you don't have to go back and fix anything. You can just move forward. And then if you can, start, save your money, because you'll need a lot of products to get started, and marketing dollars. So it's so many. I know I said a lot. There's so many layers to it. I'm sorry. I know.
No, that's good. No, it's great. And I think, like you said, I think what's cool now though is you can do your mini I can't, my brain doesn't work anymore, but you could basically set up your retail online and use your online as a test study, incubator. So it's your incubator for the bigger situation, but you get real sales. And also you can build your client base and then engage them and test this. Do you like this label? Or do you like this label? You get some people who are on the journey with you, and they can lead you to the bigger things. But meanwhile, you're working out all the little kinks along the way, and even the stuff, as Kelley mentioned, like when you're talking about the designs and things like that, that can end up being kind of costly, and you want to make sure it's right, the colors, the website, and all that kind of stuff. So the journey ends up being kind of, it's a long journey. So don't necessarily try to hop all the way out there, because that's also what kills a lot of businesses. So you hop out there, and now Whole Foods wants 500 whatever, or a case, 2 cases, whatever it is. Now you got to figure out, how am I going to fulfill this order? So I think that would be a thing. So Kelley, does your salve, you said people use it for other uses. Yeah. So are you opening it up? Are you sticking to for this use, or are you going to open it up?
So, I have been thinking about doing more marketing, because a lot of people use the paste like on their knuckles and eczema spots. And I know eczema is just so many kids are affected by it, but they, rub the paste in an area, and I'm seeing really good results. So on my website, Curasalve.com, and on social, I want to start talking more about the benefits of, the secondary benefits of the product. And then I'm branching out, with other products. So I'll be coming out this summer with a body wash, a moisturizer, actually 2 body washes, a moisturizer, and a bath and body oil. So I'm expanding the line. I'm excited about that, to give, parents a full line of organic skincare for their little ones. And hey, you can use the oil for yourself too, on your scalp, on your, natural hair, everything. So yeah, so
that's exciting. So Kelley, you have amazing skin. I'm looking here, hypnotized on the Zoom through the skin. Do you know, is that just genetic? Do you have a story where you had the worst skin and one day you put your stuff on your face? I mean, what's the...
So you know what? Maybe it's genetic. Maybe it's just that melanin, right? But I do use my oil on my skin and all over. And I started making the oil for myself, even in pregnancy. I have 2 kids now with my second child, and so it's just an all over moisturizer that is really good. So yeah, and I try to stick with the natural ingredients. So I think that helps with the skin. So thank you.
My late father-in-law used to have a gentleman who had a product, and my father-in-law was a minister. And so when the guy was in town, I mean, like every time he was in town, he would just stop by my dad's church and just give him money, tithing, give him money to basically, what you put out into the universe comes back to you. Yeah. Now that person was the brother who invented Egyptian magic. And have you ever tried Egyptian magic?
I've seen it, and I've seen great reviews on it.
Yeah, Egyptian magic is amazing. So I just thought about you, because this, again, talk about an inspirational story. This is a multi-million-dollar bit, and I think he's in his like 70s or early 80s now. Wow. But he built this massive company on just a great product, and you can put it on anything. It's almost like the soaps, the company that has the soap. I can't think of the name. They've been around forever. Egyptian magic in our household, especially because, again, my wife grew up with it. Before it was famous. We put it on everything, and your hair, your skin, your whatever. So I think you're going to create the same thing, Kelley.
Thank you. Well, let's speak it into existence. I want that. I want something with longevity that works and helps people. So
Kelley, at this point, so a lot of people are, like Sheridan mentioned, she wants to get her products to market. I'm sure some people are watching and they either have a product or want to have a product. So at this point, you made it, you made the product, it's out there, it's for sale. What do you need right now? And put us inside your world when you've kind of got there. It's almost like when people want to write a book, and so you write, okay, the book's out. And so what do you need? So what do you need right now? What's the next steps?
Yeah. So the next steps really, the marketing piece, like having this conversation with you, putting myself out there so people know that I exist and what I'm about as a founder and what the brand is about. I think that is just, so valuable, Instagram, Facebook, the news, whatever outlets that will have me, having that conversation will be really, really helpful. It's the marketing piece, because, I'm sold now on my website, and I was also picked up by Nordstrom. I'm sorry, I couldn't talk there.
What? Wait a minute. Talk about burying the lead. Nordstrom? What the?
Yeah, Nordstrom picked us up. Yeah, as one of their baby brands. And so I think I may be the only Black-owned brand that is in the baby care section of their website now. And so, it's exciting. I want more people to know that, and just to spread the word about.
Look here, Humble Jackson. How you gonna wait the whole damn interview before you let us know you in Nordstrom?
I know.
That's amazing, Kelley. Congratulations, girl.
Slapping my hand in the, PR marketing field, saying like, girl, listen, you should have been saying that 20 minutes ago. But listen.
You did us like the Kanye interview with Sway. Hey, Kelley, look, I had you at the all the black little shops in the, with the brothers sell the incense. We had you at the flea market. You at damn Nordstrom. Not that there's anything wrong with the flea market or the Black Power Summit. I'm just saying.
Not the flea market, but you know what? I'm down to be anywhere, honestly, where I can sell the product and get my name out there. But yes, Nordstrom has picked us up. Always a Curasalve on my Curasalve.com. I'm on Amazon. I'm trying to make myself accessible because the product works. And so, yeah, I see someone, their little ones have eczema, and said, you should really try this diaper cream on their eczema spots and on any spots that are red and inflamed. So, yeah.
That's Sheridan. That's one of my favorites right there. Sheridan she's got amazing gluten-free baking, and she's got some products coming to market. So Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And oh my, so that let me ask you this, Kelley. When other businesses see that you are at a Nordstrom, do you find is it easier to get interviews or easier to get appointments or not necessarily?
I think I'm starting to have the conversation with other retailers. So once you get one major retailer to sign you on, others are looking, they're, looking closely. And I will say, I've just started to, get my feet wet with, PR and media. And so a lot of people say, oh, that's great, but they'll reserve me for, the future when they're doing a story that's related. So, I'll say it's happening slowly. It's not like I'm in every publication, immediately, but I think it is going to, attract more people to my story for sure. So
And
I'm
let me,
always open to, referrals or, whatever.
well, I know you're working with Warren, and he's a good brother.
Yes.
And let me say, it is. I tell you what, like I said, our experience with Archer Pine was so eye opening because we were in Black Enterprise online, we were on Cheddar Television. We were charting, like you said, getting that marketing push, but the money is what you really pushes you over. It takes a lot of money to market your stuff.
Yeah.
And in addition to the social media piece, having a very smart and aggressive social media push is very it's efficient economically. Really using your Facebook and Instagram and using those ads, that is it's effective. But it really was an interesting journey in that, realizing how much it took, because it is, you're on, we were on Black Enterprise, and like I said, we're on Cheddar TV, we're on the Black publications, but people still didn't really know about us, and you just go, wow. But it's like, this is where the work begins. Mm-hmm. And you just have to stick with it. You just have to keep pushing. And again, that product, the fact that you have a great product, that's the blessing. And that's what, and so just be patient and know that it can happen, and again, at the same time, what I was going to say was, sadly, and this is something, let's keep it real, because we talk about this. We talk, and Kevin, again, is talking about Black businesses. One of the things we experienced that was so disheartening was, people who say they can do something, but they can't. Or let's keep it real, Kelley. If you suck at something, don't come into the arena, especially if you're Black. Okay? You don't come. We can't, because we ain't got time. We don't have time to waste on people who are not good at their job. And like I said, Warren's excellent. Warren's excellent.
Yes, and I love Warren. He is.
But a lot of people are saying that they can market. Sheridan, you mentioned these people contacting you. Man, proof of past performance. Let me see what you've done. If you say you are marketing and promotions, let me see some of your client success stories. Let me see your access. Show me what articles you got in all these Black publications and all these other publications. We have to demand excellence at all levels. The same thing. If I'm spending my money with Kelley and I buy this product, it better look great. You're competing with everybody else. It can't be no nickel and dime label. It's got to look sharp. The consistency has to be great. It has to be a great product. Now and lastly, I'm rambling, Kelley, of course. Lastly, when I was in New York, I got a chance to hang out with my sister from my goodness, what is it? The product that we all used to love, then she sold it.
Is it hair? What industry?
Yeah, hair. Oh my goodness, I'm blank now. Help me out, Adrian. She sold. Well, anyway, she based
the main choice.
Not the main choice. Very popular. Carol's daughter. Yeah. I was with her, and you could see the pain in her heart, because just like with your stuff, Kelley, the initial product is amazing because you used amazing ingredients and you had a certain standard that you had to hold up. But as soon as you give it to somebody else, the first thing a big company is going to do is cut the all those certifications and all that stuff, go out the window. They're going to make it they're going to make the margins bigger, and so they're going to make the product not as good. And so it's tough because your name's still on it, but it's not that product that it was when you first started, right? And but I guess in a sense that's business and that's success in some ways. And I guess you have to cross that river when you get there.
Yeah, you have to either when you sell know that you're giving away everything, and your right to product development and the future of the company is gone, or you have to negotiate that you still have an interest and have a say in the business via a board seat, but still someone will outvote you, because at the end of the day it's about profits for any major corporation. And so I know that's so difficult for her because she grew this from infancy to what Curasalve is now in every in major retailers. But that's a part of the new company that acquired them, their growth plan is to maximize profits. And so that's unfortunate, because then it goes to using less expensive ingredients. Bottom line. So, and
the social media, the good news is social media now can blow you up, but also social media can also expose you.
Exactly.
And I think in that case, the backlash has been pretty powerful, but not just, like I said, not just Carol's daughter. It's everything. It's that is really just America. That is really capitalism. When I go to the pet store, you have a favorite dog food, right? You can only go to the little small pet store to get it. And as soon as they get sold, the same thing happens. It goes from being this great quality dog food to having a whole bunch of crap in it. But that's America.
That's why they have to support, Curasalve, the mom and pops people.
There we go.
Are from my family to yours, that put their all into the ingredients. Like, this is your life, so we're producing the most high quality products. And so that's why you have to, read your labels and know what brand you're dealing with, and then support, women-owned business, women of color businesses. This is our community. So, yeah.
Kevin was saying, he was talking about, and to be honest, Kevin, I have not seen the platform. It's like Facebook, but not Facebook. Members are worldwide. Black Spee. I'm not familiar with that, Kevin, but we'll check that out. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
And Kevin was also saying other products. I think, and that's the other thing my partner does with Delicious Beverage, the importance of manufacturing. Kevin had mentioned, have you ever thought about basically a insect product safe for the home? But there's so many products. Once you're in the product business, then you're right. There's a whole bunch of opportunities, and there's, once again, the money probably is in, in actually, creating those, manufacturing, because that's another thing. There's not a lot of Black manufacturing going on, and if you're in that space when you're doing ingredients anyway, finding things that work. But you have a whole line coming up, so Kelley don't have time yet.
So you know what? That's a part of the long-term plan. So right now, this year, is expanding my baby line, but I have ideas for a line for, for moms, for pregnant women, for women in general, for the home, all organic, non-toxic ingredients. And so my long-term vision is to do exactly what you're talking about. And I know you talked about even, with Archer and Pine, like, what do you need? And you said, how expensive things can be. One thing that I've learned is apply for a ton of grants, do fundraising. And I used to be shy about fundraising. Like I'm going through a round now with family and friends of investors, but it's so important to running a business, having cash so that you can secure your ingredients, that you can, just run your business day to day. And so, you don't want to be shy about what you need to run a successful business. And so there are a lot of grant programs out here for Black owned businesses, especially. And there are a lot of people, maybe not in your immediate circle initially, but once they see you moving and gaining traction, people will be interested in, giving you the money that you need to grow and be successful. So.
Well, that's the thing that I think, and you know what, by the way, Kelley, if you are interested in a manufacturer, then I can help you out, by the way.
Yes, okay.
Well, my man, so we just, Delicious Beverage just relocated to Atlanta
Okay.
from the West Coast, which the West Coast is so expensive, but Atlanta is so the costs are just it's a whole different ball game. And now he has the space, and he always wanted to do the manufacturing piece and find products that would make sense. So with yours, oils and
about that.
yeah. But Kelley, if people want to, how do people contact you? How can we order?
Yes.
How can we order? How can they contact you? How can they support you?
Yes. So Curasalve, Curasalve.com. I'm also on Amazon and Nordstrom. You can just do a search for our brand and we will pop up. And also, if you have questions, you can email me at hello@curasalve.com. I'm happy to connect with like-minded people and support, any questions you have. I'm trying to figure it out too, but I'm willing to share what I have right now. So yeah.
I love the fact
Instagram. Yep.
And what's Instagram?
It's and then just the brand name, Curasalve. Yeah.
You surprised me, Kelley. I just knew that salve came from Big Mama. Baby, come get me some of this. I thought it came from Big Mama. She had a recipe that you stole from.
Know what? You know what my grandmother always used to say, she used to make different salves and she would put it in our hair because I have thick hair, just everywhere. And so when I was thinking of a brand name, I wanted something healing, and I just put it together and it popped in my head and I said, this is it. My grandmother would be proud right now.
Because they were leading in some salves, didn't they?
Yes, as long as it's thick and moisturizing, then you got them. So
Kelley, it's been a joy. I wish you the very best. I'm gonna go get some. I'm gonna see. I ain't asking for the hookup. I'm going to Nordstrom and get me some and be proud. I'd be like, I know her. They'd be like, okay, sir, $36.25. But I'm going to get some.
We're online at Nordstrom, so go to Nordstrom.com.
Okay, Nordstrom. Okay.
Some in specific locations, but I'm selling, online. So.
Awesome. So again, much success. We'll have you back. We'll check in every quarter to see how things are going. Okay.
Yes, I would love that. Hopefully, it's some good news, some big news, right?
And thanks everybody. Thanks Kevin. Thanks Adrian. Thanks Sheridan and everybody. I saw a couple of my old friends up there. But thanks for the support, guys. And let's have a great one. And again, everybody, go support Kelley in this project, because I do believe that that's the thing about the mom and pops. It really is a family thing, and it comes from the heart. And the support is so needed. It's so needed. So, all right, Kelley, have a great one.
Thank you. You too.
All right, y'all. I will see you on the next noon show. Be good.